So let's switch to something a little more maybe upbeat, which is helping Kamala Harris sell books. The start of the book tour, basically to me, has been defined in her first two interviews by pulling her punches, writing stuff in the book that's gotten attention pre-publication, and then when asked to repeat it, basically backing off. So let's help her. Meghan, you know how to sell books. What would you tell Kamala Harris if she, having seen the early interviews, and say, well, it's okay, right? If I back off, I don't repeat the stories, or I try to take the edge off them. What would you say to her?
Well, first of all, I don't know how to sell books. I've had some good bombs. I hate selling books. You know how to sell books, and I think Ben, you know how to sell books too. I am not the expert to go to, but I will say, I watched this clip of her with Rachel Maddow yesterday, where Rachel Maddow, who's obviously like arguably the most famous lesbian in the world, other than like, I think Ellen DeGeneres or American. And she's confronting her about the fact that Kamala Harris said that she couldn't choose Mayor Pete because he's gay and America couldn't accept it. And Rachel Maddow was clearly upset and angry, justifiably, as I can understand from her perspective why that would be so insulting. And Kamala's like, that's not what I said. That's like, she's totally hedging and she's very uncomfortable. And I just don't understand who her editors were, why she put any of this in writing if she's not going to stand by it when she's on her book tour. So I don't know. This is one of the weirdest, I think, most destructive book tours for a politician I've ever seen. I think any hope of her holding any office is completely off the table, let alone president.
Yeah.
Ben, how's the rollout rolling so far from your?
Yeah, I laugh. It's like she said what she actually believed in the book, and then people around her started to read it. Her colleagues and her advocates and the people that said you have to vote for her, and they became angry. She's like, okay, my bad, never mind. I'll abandon all of it. Like the book is actually Kamala Harris. It's the reason why I also believe that she can't keep a good staff. It's the reason why she had to drop out when she was running for president the first time at 2%. It's the reason why the American people rejected her, because I don't think they feel, A, that she's authentic. I also think a lot of people feel like she's pretty angry and vindictive politically. And her own staff did not love her. There were more leaks coming out of her staff early on in the vice presidency than I've ever seen before of any president or vice president, of it really just saying, like, I can't handle this. Like, she's off the rails and the way that she treats us. And now she's like trying to be like, well, I didn't really. I'm like, you put it in writing. Your face is on the cover. I understand if you write a book 10 years ago and your views change. Like, in my first book I wrote when I was 20 years old. I am sure if I read it now, there are things in there that I would be like, I've evolved from that. I disagree with that now. I've changed. I'm a little older. This is like 4 minutes ago. And like 4 minutes ago, and you're like, well, hold on a second. I'm like, dude, it's literally premium priced right now at the bookstore. It's not even on discount because it's 2 months old, and you won't even stand behind it. And this is why she lost. And I think it's a cautionary tale to anybody in politics on either side of the aisle. You better know what you believe and why you believe it. And most importantly, if you're going to say it, you better be able to back it up publicly and not be bashful about it. I think that also goes back to what we were talking about with Charlie Kirk earlier. Charlie Kirk knew what he believed, why he believed it, and never backed down. I have no idea what Kamala believes. Clearly, it's whatever the pollster tells her to, but she was probably upset when she wrote the book and being honest, and now she's like, oh, wait, never mind. I made somebody upset in my party.
And let's be clear. Go ahead, Megan. Go ahead.
Right. I just can't believe how rude she is to President Biden as well, because
Yeah.
she would not be in any of these positions. She certainly wouldn't have been chosen as vice president, let alone been a nominee for president. I do not believe there's any scenario on any planet where she could be nominee for president on her own without that specific scenario. I just can't believe how
100%.
disrespectful she is. Like that has been so strange to me. And, as Mark, as you know better than anyone, there was certainly a lot of conflict between my dad and Sarah Palin. She has never, ever said anything negative about him in the 20-something years since he ran for president. And I think it says a lot about how classy she is and how not classy Vice President Harris is. And I've been shocked by that. And as you know, the Bidens are very vengeful. And I just think it's a matter of time before they come out swinging at her.
Yeah, you guys
I
raised
agree.
a ton of key stuff. First of all, you said what you said about Governor Palin. Your dad was the same way. Your dad would not say bad things about Sarah Palin, even though plenty of people around him did, and I'd say even some people in the press who he was close to kind of goaded him to, and he would not. And what she has done in this book, I actually, the irony to me is what she wrote in the book about a lot of these issues is absolutely true. It matches up with my reporting, and it's stuff that other people wouldn't say. particularly talking about a cult around Joe Biden, and the first lady. But again, she's not out there backing it up. So I don't know the point of writing it in the book. The other thing is, and this is as the minute I saw the title, I said this: 107 days, and her whole thing is I didn't have time to run a good campaign. And she did almost win. We shouldn't overstate the extent to which this was a competitive race, or understate it. But if you don't think you can win in 107 days, don't run. There were plenty of people who would have stepped up. But this blaming everybody else and saying I couldn't pick the guy I wanted, I don't get how no one in her life said a whiny book claiming you couldn't win and it's all so horrible now, but it's not your fault. Forget whether she wants to run or not, Meghan. Don't you think her place in history now will be defined by this as much as anything else?
Whining.
Also, never complain, never explain. Nobody feels bad for you right now. You had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity that was handed to you when I do not believe that she had the merit to get there when as in any other scenario except these specific ones. She couldn't make it to Iowa when she ran for president. I have been on panels interviewing her. She's deeply unimpressive in person. She's anxious. Her body language is anxious. How you can get to that level and still be this bad at this, she needs to do something else because it's hurting the Democrat brand. I mean, it's fun for us to talk about because it's just ridiculous, but I actually think she's hurting women. I just think everything about this is bad. And I think no one feels bad for you. No one feels bad for you when you don't become president. Trust me, I know. And you just have to be you know what? I was one of a handful of Americans who could have possibly become president. How incredible is that? How incredible is it my life? And I just don't understand why she can't have any perspective on the world and perspective on things. And she's just deeply self-involved and seems, quite frankly, a little I don't know, not unstable. That's not the right word, but she just seems like she has no understanding of the world around her in any way.
I have a mentality, and Meghan and I, this is why we are such good friends. Loyalty matters, and ride or die is what we call it, matters. I've had multiple times where people try to get me to criticize what Meghan had said, especially when her dad was dying and Donald Trump and all of that. And I'm like, guys, she's one of my best friends. I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. And if we were at the Kennedy School of Government right now, what I would say if you're downloading this is, hey, the last two vice presidents who decided to go and attack their running mate, the president, it didn't work out. Where's Mike Pence right now? Nowhere to be found. His legacy will be that he trashed his guy that got him there to the White House, got him to be the vice president because he was not loyal. Look, you're together. You're either on a team or you're not.
So now let me tell you a story. It's about a guy named Leo Grillo. He was on a road trip and he came across a dog. It was a Doberman who was severely underweight and clearly in a lot of trouble. Leo rescued that Doberman and he gave him a name. He called him Delta. Sadly, though, Delta was just one of many animals that needed help, which gave Leo an inspiration. He started something called Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. Delta Rescues saved thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness. They always provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, and a good home. This dedication and everlasting love for animals, that's Leo's mission, and it's Leo's legacy. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to operate from people like all of us. So if you want caring for these animals to be part of your own legacy, speak with your estate planner because there are tax savings and estate planning benefits too. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out now the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and to speak with an advisor. We call a dog man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. So please, right now, visit deltarescue.org to learn more. Again, go for more information to deltarescue.org.